All right, we're gonna talk taxes real quick. We're gonna talk tax withholding. And when I was a young airman, and I was had a young family, and I was struggling with taxes, struggling trying to squeeze out every dime. You guys know how it is. I didn't know whether I wanted a big refund, um, as like a savings account, or like a small refund so I could use the money. And I was doing it on TurboTax, and I worked in an accounting office in the Air Force, and I would ask my staff sergeant and stuff, and master sergeant, yeah, what do I do? Do you guys have any advice? And they would give me the standard disclaimer: talk to your tax professional. Talk to your tax professional. Who? TurboTax? That's when TurboTax didn't have all this live crap. You just dumped your numbers in there, and it just spit out a number. That didn't help, right? So I never liked those disclaimers. I ran a business for a long time. I did my own taxes for 14 years. My mother-in-law owns a accounting firm. My brother-in-law, I believe, got a CPA. I got these people. I text these people all the time. Your tax professional, if you're going to Jackson Hewitt, or you're going to, you know, what's the H&R Block or something, the chances that they know your complex tax question, they're not financial advisors. They don't know the other areas. Maybe they can answer your tax question, but chances are you're better off googling it. And then you Google it, and then what? Then you don't know whether Google's feeding you a line or not, right? So that's sort of why I'm here, um, to guide you through these things. I got asked by a soldier the other day. He said, I haven't filed my taxes in 3 years. Should I start this year? And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I'm not going to tell you to go to a tax professional and ask that question. Take all your stuff, do this year's, and there's a clicking clock on the oldest one. You may not get a refund for that one, but still, you just go do it. I don't need to give you the disclaimer of go ask your tax professional if you should file your taxes. Really? No, I don't know why people are so scared of taxes. I guess they're scared of the IRS or whatever. But we're gonna talk about it real quick. Um, so let's talk. Wait, thing's not working. All right. Um, so let's talk about your tax deductions, or your paycheck deductions. Comes right out of your pay, right? Are you paying taxes with that? No, you're not paying taxes with that. What you're actually doing is you're prepaying your taxes, right? This is estimated taxes, they call it. You're estimating how much you owe, so you don't have a big bill at the end of the year. This is not you paying taxes. This is you creating a savings account with the IRS, so they can just deduct it out of your savings account instead of sending you a bill for it, right? So you got 3,500 in paycheck deductions. Okay, you do your tax return between January and April. That's when most of us do our tax return. That's actually paying your taxes. That's figuring out how much you owe. Your tax liability. Okay, your tax liability is only 1,550. Let's say you got deductions for, let's say, your mortgage, your TSP deduction. Um, you put in your W-2, you put in your 1099, and it shows, you know what, you only owe 1,500. What happens then? You get a refund of 1950, and you're saying, "Thank you, sir. I got my 1950. I'm gonna skip on out of here, and hope it's right, and go spend this 1950 immediately. We are As soon as this hits our account, we're gonna spend that money." And you know what? There's places they'll even give you loans for the 1950, right? I believe there's places out there that give you a loan. You could walk out of there right that second, right after you hit the button send. Boom, you got your money, and you could spend it the same day. I think that's crazy, but whatever. I mean, if you want to use this as a tax refund, or a tax, you want to use your refund as a savings account. I mean, you do you, but listen, we don't do this with any other things. We don't do this with our utility bills. Maybe you do, right? You could do it with your insurance, your car insurance. Hey, I'm just gonna overpay, and then 6 months from now, when it renews, I'll have a refund. Um, do you do it with your utilities? No. You do it with anything else that you could think of where you overpay, and then at at the end you get a nice uh, return. I can't think of any. If you could think of some, that's fine. But I'm, you pay what you owe, right? You pay what you owe. So let's dial this in a little bit. And I spent years trying to dial mine in, especially with all the raises and all that stuff. Um, let's say you dial it way back, and you say, you know what? I'm only gonna put 900 in my paycheck deductions, right? I'm gonna go way down there. I need the extra cash every month, and you know what? Forget the IRS. I'll deal with them later, right? This is when I talked about personality. You manage your finances from partially from your personality. I would do this all day long. Say, you know what? I will talk to you in April, sir. Do not take my money. 900 bucks. That's all you get. Okay, let's say your paycheck deductions are $900 and your tax liability is same, right? 1550, right? And let's say you owe 650. Are you writing a check for 650 right now and saying, "Ah, I owe 650. Here you go." Maybe, but you know what else you're gonna do? Next year, you're gonna try and find something else to deduct. You may even this year say, you know what, I'm not doing this 650. I need to find more deduction. You start scouring all your finances looking for deductions, right? You tell the tax preparer, or you go back and you do the numbers again. Are you sure it's 650? Are you sure it's 650? I don't want to pay 650. I want to make sure this is 100% to the dollar. I was going to say to the penny, but they don't deal with pennies. It's to the dollar. So, are you sure? Let me look over my deductions again. Can I put some in my IRA? Check it again. Check it a fourth time. You know, delay it a little bit. Maybe delay it 1 or 2 months. You're trying to file it in January. Let's say you have to save up 650. Fine. That's what you have 4 months to do. You have 4 months to save it. 4 months to find other deductions. You could even you could even write a check to your IRA, right? IRA after the year is over. You have until you file your taxes in April to write a check to your IRA. That is another deduction as well. Okay, so you're going through this whole rigmarole trying not to owe the 650. In the previous, when you got your 1950, you skipped away, right? Because you got money in your pocket. You still owe the 1550, but it's an entirely different mindset, right? And then finally, if you finally have to owe that 650, or you even have to owe $1, what are you going to do next year? You're going to be mindful of what you're going to owe, and you're going to try and find deductions. Okay? How do you find deductions? There's a few ways you can find deductions, and we can talk about this if you want to. But you get an extra 216 a month in your in your paycheck because you're not paying that big 3,500, right? It's still your money. All you owe is 1,550. So instead of getting that back at the end of when you file your taxes, you're getting it right now. Okay, in your monthly pay. What can you do with that? Well, better insurance. Do you got the lowest plan on your medical insurance? Do you got the lowest plan on your dental? Do you have the lowest plan on your vision? Those are tax deductible, right? Maybe invest that $216. Get your family better insurance. Okay. What else can you do? Can you put more in TSP? That's a deduction. If you use a traditional TSP, that's a deduction. You can pay yourself instead of paying the IRS. Okay? You could open an IRA, like I said, and dump money into it. Every year, my I go to my mother-in-law and I say, hey, can I contribute to my TSP? Or can I contribute to my IRA? Okay, I'm going to write a check right now to my IRA. How much is that going to pull off what I owe? Instead of 650, maybe you write a check to your IRA and you only owe 250. Okay, you're gonna look for these deductions because you don't want to pay. Like I said, it's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different approach to taxes. Remember, taxes is a bill. Don't overpay your bills if you don't have to. Pay yourself. Okay? Now, you can take this with a grain of salt. You can say, hey, I got my tax professional. That's completely fine. Like I said, this is for the soldiers who have nowhere to turn. The Army has recognized that this is an issue. Financial literacy is an issue. Getting them to a financial professional is an issue, and that's what I'm here for. Okay, so you can take this with a grain of salt. You could say, I'm not going to do that. That's completely fine. Somebody needs this. All right. There's my info. I haven't been putting this up for some reason. I've been forgetting, but there's my info. Yeah, give me a call, text me, um, hit me up an email, or you scan that QR code and get on my Outlook account.